So I was asking a question to Josh, my partner, and I think it's one that will come up for anybody that actually takes a chance and learns the different personality types and how to identify them in order to best speak to that when you're trying to close a business deal or just get to know someone. And my question for Josh was, I felt like when I was meeting someone, we'll just call him Tom or Tommy.
Tommy Two Thumbs.
Tommy Two Thumbs. That I was trying to assess his personality, and I got the feeling that he was trying to be dominant, but that wasn't natural. And Josh began to go into why that might be.
So, yeah, there's a difference between an environmental personality or communication style and your natural style. And the further away you get from your natural style, the more kind of awkward it feels, the more stressed out that individual that's getting away from their natural style feels. So when you can really truly identify somebody's communication and personality style effectively, you can better understand situations. A good example might be someone that is not really task oriented or a dominant personality or style that goes into sales. They might try to flip and transition into that, but then you get that kind of awkward, what's going on here? You could have someone that is a very process, detail-oriented person that gets put into an external business development role or a client-facing role where they try to be more personable and develop relationships, but that's not their natural style. So then you get this awkward. You can see it in a lot of people's faces.
You feel it.
Yeah. It's like I had a coworker, we'll just call her Susan. Okay, Susan was most certainly that engineer type style, that process, detail-oriented person, and they got put into a management role where they were externally facing. They had to be in a network scenario. They had to deal with different personality types, and for her natural personality type, she is a process, task-oriented person. So when you put her into a relationship building scenario where she had to really be personable and she got away from that natural style, it was really awkward. For me, I'm a relationship person. I'm an extroverted, outgoing type of person, and when we would get together, you could just tell there was a forced, I'm going to try.
It wasn't natural.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you weren't ebbing and flowing. And I think I was feeling similar with this gentleman, Tommy, because I started to question, am I doing something wrong? But then I remembered what you and I had talked about when you were explaining that no, it's more so that this other individual is acting a part that they feel is more appropriate, because 9 times out of 10 you and I hit it off great with people and we're not acting. So if you're that way as well, then you are probably in a conversation with someone who is pushing against their own natural style for communication, almost like two magnets that are on their opposite unpolarized side.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to note here is it's not just about the specific examples we're giving. It's about really defining the different styles out there in your own mind, learning about them, and being able to effectively identify them. There are so many personal assessments out there that teach you what you are and what else is out there, but the gap that you need to close, that bridge you have to cross as a professional, is being able to effectively identify. And once you can identify someone's personality style or communication style, then you've got leverage and you've got the upper hand, and you can better understand that individual and you can speak in terms that they understand. You don't have to change your message or your goal, but being able to identify how they are and what their needs are, you can put in tiny shifts in the way in which you deliver it to more effectively communicate, because at the end of the day, effective communicators are more well liked, and they're more successful ultimately in closing business if you have the ability to adapt. So recognition and adaptation is key.
Okay. And I would summarize that by saying, learn your own type, that's great, but then totally put 100% of your focus on learning all the personality types, because ultimately dropping that inner ego and focusing on the other person, that's how you connect. There's a lot of times you can say a lot about yourself without saying anything at all, and Josh gave a way better description of all this, which is why he is going to be answering most of those questions when it comes to personality types. But I think this dialogue that we have between us daily, all the time during the day, is something that we might as well share, because everybody has similar questions.
Yeah, similar questions, and I think frustrations, because when you have an egocentric approach, just because you're unaware of the different styles, it can be very frustrating. You know, we were having a conversation recently. I was like, why don't they understand X? Well, that's our style, right? So if we take a step back and really put them first and connect with them and understand their needs first, we understand why they're needing that specifically in the scenario. So it can also alleviate a lot of frustrations, and for businesses, the more your employees effectively communicate,
Everybody's happy.
operations run smoother, profits go up, culture and employee engagement go up. So that's really, I think, a good output or outcome from having that type of focus.
All right, you heard it here, folks. We'll see ya.
Holla.